beef quesadillas today. If you need to know how to prep braised beef, you should have been on Wednesday, or you can go back, look through the previous live streams where we talk through, show you how to cook some delicious braised beef. So I'm going to show you what we got to start with. We got tortillas, organic tortillas, got a little bit of lime. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that, but I just have it. We got a washed jalapeno. We got some leftover onions that we got from a takeout place that I'm actually going to saute because I don't like the level of cookingness that they did there. We got braised beef, collagen side up. We got some chicken broth. This can also be beef broth. We're going to pour this on that to make sure it stays juicy when we eat it. We got a little bit of leftover rice that we also cooked on Wednesday. Now we also have some bacon grease, a little bit of garlic powder, salt, spatula, cheese, skillet, and then we're gonna be using the air fryer. So turn this on. First things first, I'm gonna show you how we're going to reheat the braised beef. So the key to reheating braised beef is we don't want it to dehydrate. So we're going to take the chicken broth, and the collagen is actually sealed on top. That's okay. What we're gonna end up doing is getting a spoon and scooping that out, pouring it on top of the braised beef, just so we are under no risk of having this. I'm still gonna eat that. We got our floors cleaned last night, it's fine. No risk of dehydrating. So I like what this is looking like. Okay, and then we're also gonna put some of the yummy collagen over the rice, because this is gonna keep the rice from getting too dry. And then walk with me as we go over to the air fryer. I'm gonna put this in, also doubles as a toaster oven. So we're going to, actually we're gonna take that out. We're gonna take the baking tray off. Damn, that's some really, really good bone broth. I wish you guys could taste how good that chicken bone broth is. But we're gonna put this big bowl of braised beef in. We're gonna keep it in for 9 minutes at 350 degrees. Let that thing preheat. And then we're gonna take this rice. We're gonna put it in the microwave, but we're not going to prep it just yet, because we want that hot when we want it hot, and we don't want it hot right now. So leave that right there. Okay, step number one, what we're going to do is, we flip this camera around, girlfriend's taking a nap, don't want to disturb her while we're talking through how to make this stuff yummy. So here's what we're gonna do. You guys know that when we're cooking everything, we start with the thing that takes the longest to cook first. So that, in this case, is gonna be the onions. So we're gonna cut these onions, and we're going to dice them up. If you guys can see, can you see? No, we're gonna move this just forward just a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Give me a second while I jockey this stand. Wonderful. Okay, so now you guys should be able to see it just a little bit better. We are going to be slicing up, dicing up these onions. And we're talking, today's topic is on reinventing yourself, okay? I'm wearing a Vanderbilt baseball shirt. Interestingly enough, this shirt was given to me after I left Vanderbilt and stopped playing baseball for them. This is a shirt that was given away after we won our first national championship. And the coach was very thankful for all the players who helped build the program, that he made a shirt that had everybody who he believed contributed to building the program on it. And so you'll see Feinberg on the back of this if I turn around. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is we're going to put our skillet on the fire, going to, actually, I've changed my mind. We're going to use 2 pans right now. So here's what we got. Let me show you. We got our skillet, and we got our cast iron. I'm gonna put these onions on the cast iron because they're not gonna get the cast iron dirty, and they're gonna keep the skillet open for the yummy tortillas. Okay, so I'm gonna grease the cast iron. Sorry for stepping out of the frame. Greasing the cast iron right here. If you have any questions below, drop them. Okay, so we're getting on to the topic of reinventing yourself. A lot of people will need to reinvent themselves over and over again. And if they can't, that is a very, very bad thing. I had to reinvent myself after being an athlete my whole life. How do I like the AquaTrue? Thinking of getting one, okay, so, well, take a little bit of a break to talk through the AquaTrue that's in the background. The AquaTrue I really support. I moved to Austin, I moved to Texas in 2021 and lived my normal life and ended up going to get a physical. And I was like shredded at the time. I ended up getting a physical and I made a joke with my physician, like, we know something's wrong if I come back like I'm diabetic or something like that. Well, in my physical in September of 2021, it actually showed that I had high blood sugar in the pre-diabetes range. And I was like, what is this? I was like convincing myself that I had like pancreatic cancer or something like that. Because like, how would somebody who's in the shape that I'm in, who exercises the way I exercise, have high blood sugar? Long story short, I ended up making a couple dietary changes, including eating more animal fat, because my LDL was so low that that itself can be a sign of or a cause of pancreatic dysfunction. And so I ended up eating more body fat, consuming less nicotine, and just chilling out, because I thought that might have contributed to potentially high blood sugar. Long story short, 60 days later, 90 days later, I also changed my water. 90 days later, I ended up retesting my blood sugar, and everything was fine. And it's always been fine since then. And so I rolled back some of those changes because I got lazy and I didn't feel like eating as much animal fat. And I got back to using Zins. This was a while ago, back when I still used them. And so the only lasting change that I made was using the AquaTrue. And my blood pressure, or my blood sugar's been completely fine since then. And so I happen to believe that something in the water, something in the Travis County water is like not good for you. And most people wouldn't even recognize it because they would just say, oh, well, you're like overweight, you're not going to the gym. But in my situation, I was already doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing, and I still had high blood sugar. I think there was something in the water here that the AquaTrue filtered out, so everything's been fine since I did that. All right, so let me give you guys a look to what we're doing right now. We got onions, we got quesadillas. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna stir these onions. All right, watch those. Then we're gonna just heating up that rice. Okay, these quesadillas, or these tortillas, are getting somewhat warm. Okay, so we're gonna, nope, not warm enough. I want these real thick and juicy. Okay. Good enough, good enough. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the cheese and we're going to sorry, I'm just trying to pivot my camera. So we're gonna take the cheese, we're gonna put it on the tortillas. And so, okay, as we're talking through change, life changes, Everything that you think that you are, there's a great chance, especially if you're younger, that it's going to get taken from you. So if you view yourself as like one-dimensional, oh, I'm just a good athlete, oh, I'm just a good student, oh, I'm just good at math, oh, I'm just nice, oh, I'm just well-liked, you're going to go through something that's going to force you to question that assumption. And this is where most people, frankly, get depressed, because they have the thing that they know themselves for taken away from them. Right? A lot of athletes go through this at the end of their career. It's taken away from them. It doesn't seem fair, and they can't reinvent themselves. And so, my experience, I've had to do this multiple times. I had to reinvent myself going from athlete to businessman, or athlete to hedge fund worker. I had to reinvent myself going from hedge fund worker to Google employee to crypto worker to entrepreneur. Every step of the way, honestly, having the experience of an athlete's been tremendously helpful, because it's forced me to compete in everything that I do and be honest with myself about what skills I'm lacking that other people have in my domain, and frankly, what skills that most people think I need, but I actually don't, right? Because part of being a good athlete is knowing when you can compete even when you don't have your best stuff. A lot of times that's going to be the case. You're going to have to play a sport when you don't feel good. And what do you think it was like when I was interviewing at Google for a sales job and I had no sales experience? I had to convince them that it didn't matter. And so the more experience you have switching domains, the easier it is, the easier it will be to reinvent yourself. And so if this is your first time reinventing yourself, I suggest get in shape at the same time. A lot of the lessons that you'll learn from the gym will be transferable to this endeavor. Okay, so here we see the shredded cheese is getting quite hot. So we're going to eat some of these onions. Okay, we're going to take these off. Okay, alrighty. Now our braised beef is done. So we're going to take this out, go get our braised beef. Let's see. Braised beef actually needs about a minute or so more. So put this back. One more minute. We're going to give this a stir. Okay, we're going to turn this down because these are almost done. All right, so here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to you think you're about to reinvent Agent Chody Winks. Probably reinvent your handle name as a first step. I would recommend that. Okay, so we got our jalapeno. We're going to slice and dice this jalapeno. And this is going to be pretty tasty if I don't slice my finger off. Okay. All right. Okay, all right, check this out, guys. Check this out. Okay, we got open face quesadillas, jalapenos, onions. We're gonna take, got our rice, got the rice cooking in the microwave, and then we're gonna stir it up, make sure that it's yummy. Chef Alex is gonna give this a little bit of a taste. Yep, great tasting rice. All right, now we're going to turn that off because those onions are done. This, you can see, kept all its moisture. Chef Alex doesn't miss, except when he touched the braised beef with the oven mitt. It's all good. Okay. Oven mitt secured. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Right now, we are going to put the rice on the bottom because that's the least aesthetically pleasing. Okay, boom. Now, second, we're gonna put some of this braised beef in. We're gonna move this over to avoid spillage. How yummy is this? Come on, this is so good. So good, so good. Okay. And then, you guys didn't realize, I had no idea 10 years ago I'd be making money as a chef, which I was doing with my recipe book. If you guys got that for a couple years on Twitter, made over 100,000 on that recipe book, sold it to people in like 80 or 100 different countries. Again, that's a reinvention. I never thought that I'd be pro Chef Alex, but here we are. Just focusing on my hobbies. All right, that looks good. Boom. All right, now we're going to, I'm just gonna grab these with my hands because probably not. Bad idea, Chef Alex, don't do that again. Okay. Put onions there. Put more onions there. Put a little bit more there. All right, we almost ready. Put some more onions on the bottom. Okay, last one coming up. Boom. Alrighty. So here's what we got going on right now. And then we're gonna put the jalapenos on. All right. Now we're gonna cut one of these up Switch this around. Oops, give you the, we're gonna make these into a taco. It's too much to make into a quesadilla. So we're gonna eat this like a taco on camera. Let's see how we did. Chef Alex doesn't miss. Thank you very much for tuning in. Every Wednesday and Friday on my YouTube channel. You know where to go. Peace out.